Icelocked here with Nocturne Gaming, and I've got 10 tips today to help you progress through the game just a little bit easier. The first tip is get free gems. There are a few ways to earn gems each day and week. First up is alchemy gem buying. In the liquid shop, there are two places to buy gems. First is the one measly gem, and on the second page, a pair of gems. Buying both of these twice each day will give you 6 gems a day or 42 gems each week. Next up is fighting your daily mini bosses in World 2. You can get 12 gems a day or up to 84 gems each week. If you have the World 2 merit to get gems from bosses, using each of your daily keys to fight bosses can get you 20 gems a day or up to 140 gems each week. Completing your daily spike trap minigame can give you 5 gems a day or 35 gems each week. If you're in a guild, you can get these guild gift boxes each week and can give you about 125 gems each week. If you're at World 3, you can unlock the Tachyon of the Titan's Prayer, which can spawn giant monsters. As you kill these giants can give you about 100 gems each week. Coliseum runs are a great way to earn gems as well. If you're in World 4, the World 4 Coliseum can give you about 80 gems each week. And the last thing is the Maestro talent, It's Your Birthday, which has a chance of getting you gems each day. If you can keep up with each of these things, you can gain about 600 gems each week. The next tip is minigames every day. Minigames is one of the fastest ways to level a skill as well as gain quick resources. A few minigame runs is one of the best ways to level skills for characters that do not specialize in that skill. It only takes a few minutes each day to do your minigame runs, and it gives some of the best EXP per hour that is possible for any skill. And now for number 3, plan your characters early. Each class specializes in a skill, which means you'll eventually need 2 of each of the base class, the warrior, the archer, and the mage. The warrior splits into the barbarian, who specializes in fishing, and the squire, who specializes in mining and construction. The archer splits into the bowman, who specializes in catching, and the hunter, who specializes in trapping. The mage splits into the shaman, who specializes in alchemy and chopping, and the wizard, who specializes in worship and chopping. On to tip 4, don't hyper-focus your damage. Remember that Eidolon is an incremental progression game, and pretty much everything you do adds up to increase your gains. Alchemy gives bonuses to almost everything in the game. Post office has targeted bonuses depending on what you want, and gathering is needed to improve your gear. So all of these things kind of add up together to increase your damage and help you progress. If you start focusing on one aspect of the game too much, you'll end up hitting a wall, and it really just slows down your progress much more in the long run. Tip number 5 is cap your talent points on your attack skills. When you're offline fighting any monster, there's a cap on how much your attack skills can increase your AFK gains, and each talent point you add to a skill is multiplied together, and when that hidden number reaches 2.2 times more kills per hour, it no longer increases your AFK gains. This roughly happens around 25 talent points in each attack skill. But as a bonus tip here, if you go into your options menu, make sure you have use attack steering auto turned on. This makes it where all of your attacks that are assigned to your taskbar get used while you're AFK or offline. Up next is don't ignore your skills. Every level in a skill you gain gives you a talent point. So if you have level 10 in all 12 of your skills, that's 120 talent points for each tree on that character. Skills are also required for increasing your gear, and resources from skills are also used in alchemy and stamps, which are some of the most important incremental gains. It's fairly easy to get to level 10 or even 20 in each of these skills, even on characters that don't specialize in that skill. For the 7th tip, we have always check your AFK gain menu. Pay attention to your kills per hour and your EXP per hour here, as sometimes the highest monster you can fight is not the best monster for EXP. Also, with so many bonuses and buffs throughout the game, it's pretty easy to forget that you have something that's not active or you're using the wrong talent preset, which can massively affect the amount of your AFK gains while you're offline. The next one up is don't be afraid to use food. At some point in the game, your defense will just not be able to keep up with the monster's requirement to get 0 damage. It's absolutely normal to need food to continue your progression. Get as much defense as you can, but food will still be necessary at some point. I remember started using food sometime in World 2 while my squire was still farming gold to get gear. And then there's also the hemoglobin talent, which can massively increase your survivability, and this is unlocked from the merit points in the World 1 task board. And here we have number 9, dungeon runs. As early as you can, start doing a few dungeon runs each week. Your stats in dungeons are entirely separate from your character outside of the dungeon, with the exception of your talent points, so you don't need to be super strong to start progressing here. Each week you gain charges, which are shown in the top left hand corner, and each time you do a dungeon, one of these charges are spent to increase your rewards. There is the dungeon happy hour, which can spend up to 20 charges to give you 20 times the rewards. The dungeon rewards are dungeon credits, floorbows, and keychains. Dungeon credits are spent to increase your stats during the dungeon. Floorbows are spent to increase your stats outside of the dungeons, and keychains are one of the special equipment that can give you bonuses such as percent to stats or even percent to AFK gain rates. And last but not least, don't focus on money. Coins are one of the least used currencies in the game. Skilling materials and monster drops are needed far more than coins are. As you progress to later maps, coins are dropped in much higher quantities, and it'll be much easier to level up your alchemy and stamps the farther you progress in your maps. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying this type of content, and a huge shout out to our Patreon members that support the work we do. Thank you from all of us here at Nocturne Gaming. If you would like to become a patron and get some added benefits, check out the link in the description. If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, please leave them down below for me, and we'll see you next time.